This community interview is made possible by Shaw and Associates.
I'm Dave Shaw, President and CEO of Shaw & Associates. For over 70 years, Shaw & Associates has been your trusted experts for wealth management, tax, accounting, and payroll. We change lives and inspire true wealth, one person, one family, one business at a time. Shaw & Associates is a wealth management investment firm that specializes in taxes, serving as a fiduciary, putting your interests first. You can find more information or schedule an appointment by calling 530-674-1150 or on the web at shawassociatesinc.com. Shaw & Associates is proud to support community radio.
And we are grateful. I'm always grateful for Mr. Shaw and what he does for community radio. You can be part of the community radio team, and all you got to do is go to 93qradio.com and hit the donate button. Well, I have some great guests this morning because it's all about the elections. Huh? Come on,
That's right.
Girls got to be excited. Donna Hillegass, and I got that right?
You did.
Tina Belding.
Yes.
Oh, look at this. Not bad for an old guy, right? You know? So how are you ladies this morning?
Doing well, thank you.
Yeah.
We're doing really well.
So, Donna, I met you before, and
Yes.
Did you grow up here?
I say that I grew up in the South, but I forget that now I've been here longer than I ever lived in the South. And so I came to California off and on over the years, but moved here permanently in '88 and have been here ever since.
Ah, wow. Yeah, so you might as well just call it home, and that's it. Yeah, I tell people I was born in Brooklyn, raised in St. Louis, but I came here after my military service and followed a girl to California. Still following that girl 53 years later, so apparently it's the right thing, you know. So, Tina, did you grow up here?
In California, but I live in Nevada County, so just outside.
Oh, yeah. I used to pastor a church in Grass Valley.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it up there.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's like a retirement hub up there. There's a lot going on, but it's, beautiful up there. So how did you end up working for elections?
Happenstance, I suppose.
Yeah.
Looking for a government job and a career that I could continue until I retire. I raised my kids first and then went out searching for a career, and by happenstance, they hired me. That's all it took.
Donna went, I'll take that one. Send me that one. She's good, right? You know?
I started at Placer, at Placer County. I was there for 10 and a half years,
Wow.
working in their elections, and then moved to Yuba last year, kind of just career advancement. So.
Well, kudos to you for taking care of the kids. I told my wife, I don't care if you go to work. I don't care what struggles we go through. So I don't care if you go to work, but I would rather you didn't do it till the kids were in school. And so we didn't homeschool. We sent them to private school. But I love that my boys had mom there, right, in those beginning years. And I realized that our world's changing, and sometimes people can't afford to do that. But
Sure.
But and so now you're like a career girl.
Trying to be.
She is very much so.
Well, I'm sure Donna has sage wisdom to pass off to you.
That's a multitude.
All kinds of it. Every day.
She's a great mentor.
Leaving little notes. Think about this today, right? I don't need
my
Facebook.
goodness.
I can still write.
Yeah.
So tell me about elections in Yuba County. I always tell people, I want everybody to vote. Literally, I want everybody to vote. And I'm one of those guys that I just hate it when they say my vote doesn't count. And we were talking off air about a couple of elections we both know about that were within a handful of votes.
In the local elections is where you really see that. And we've had several elections that were separated, whether it was by a win or a runoff or by just a small handful of votes. And we hear these statements every election that, you don't count everyone, you don't count every provisional, and absolutely not true. Every eligible vote is counted to the very last one. And that's what it can come down to, is down to 4 votes, 6 votes. And it's just this small handful. And so we absolutely are out there. And the whole purpose of what we do is so that every eligible person has that opportunity to cast that vote and to make that selection, whatever it be, and to participate in the process.
So Tina's the one at 3 o'clock in the morning going, okay, I can't see this anymore. Who did they vote for?
Hopefully not 3 a.m. But it has happened.
We have had one of the presidential elections. I believe that was under the previous county clerk, Terry Hansen. Terry and I walked out the door at 4:45 in the morning.
Gosh.
We took an extra hour and came in at 9 the next morning. So. But it is a process, and it is a dedicated process. Speaking of which, we have a really interesting scenario coming up with the June election, with the unfortunate passing of Congressman Doug LaMalfa.
Yeah.
We have had our normal election. The June direct primary has been consolidated with this special vacancy primary election. So we have 2 elections happening. They put them together. Voters will see them on one ballot, except they have different timelines. And so, interestingly enough, talking about the long hours, we have 9 days to certify the special election.
Wow.
Which is going to require us to count all the ballots in the county.
How many people are running for that office?
Well, candidate filing is open right now.
Oh, so somebody could still yet.
Yes.
I'm not putting in for that. Forget that.
No, as a
Fish
matter of
for
fact,
Congress, not happening.
There you go. Filing will close on the 9th, so it won't
Okay.
be until the 9th that we know how many candidates there are for that office. But we will be working probably in shift work to ensure that every single ballot gets counted for that special election.
Well, I understand that Tina has already put her name in to work late.
Yes.
She loves that late hours, right?
I do work late hours. we will definitely probably be at 3 a.m. this time for sure.
You know, this is where Donna goes, I have seniority. I'm getting off at 5, right?
See ya.
So
No.
I do have to ask this because I know this statistic comes out after every election. That's the percentage of voters that actually vote. Is Yuba County pretty good at that? I mean, are our voters getting out and voting?
I think it has improved over the years, very much so. We are saying 60%, 70%, and but it's always. I do sometimes think the voters experience a little bit of voter fatigue when we have too many elections back to back, and we'll see a little dip, but. We've also had 38%.
Wow, that's low.
Yeah, very, very low. You have 38% of your eligible electorate that is selecting your leaders or your legislation. Or so I go into every election hopeful, and we prepare for that 75% turnout, and sometimes we see it, but more often than not, we fall somewhere right under there.
So your office handles presidential, congressional, state, gubernatorial, all those, plus all the local elections?
Correct. Yes, we handle.
You need more people.
I agree.
I agree.
Kevin,
We
CAO,
won't argue.
did you catch that? Our CAO is very supportive of our elections office.
Okay, so I told you I had gotten connected with Sutter County elections because we had Donna on, and I got a chance to go over there and see the process. It's really actually pretty amazing. I got to ring the bell. I'm so proud of that. You guys need a bell. You
Yeah,
have to
we
have a
don't
bell.
have a bell.
Gosh, who's in
We'll let
charge
you
over there?
holler.
We'll be looking at bells.
Who's in charge over there? Kevin Mallon?
Kevin is the CAO, correct?
Okay, Kevin, get a bell. These ladies need a bell, and one of those hats, right? That's red, white, and blue, and yeah, no beards. They're fine without that. But,
Oh, glad to hear it.
yeah,
Glad to hear it.
So The electoral cycle, as it cycles through. So when you were talking about voter fatigue, so when there is too many elections within a given cycle, you see a drop in voters?
We can see that. For example, in this year, we had a normal cycle is a primary and a general election every even-numbered year. And so that is where we kind of operate within. But then, for example, in 2025, we had the Proposition 50 special election in November.
Oh, yeah.
And then we have the regularly scheduled June election. But depending on the outcome of this special congressional election, we may turn around and have an August 4th special election. And then we will have the general November election. So we will have that cycle, and the August and the June are going to be so close together.
Yeah.
That it leads to some, there is even some confusion. Didn't I just do this? And so we will work real closely with our media and try to reach out and really communicate that to voters and everything. No, we're gonna. This is the second part of what we just did.
So I see, like the I forget what they're called, but the Democratic and Republican Party, the people that run that locally,
the central committees.
Central committees. I see they're very good about getting out to events and getting people to sign up to vote, right? But just because you signed up for vote isn't a guarantee you're going to show up to vote, right? And so, but at least we're doing that. And then the Get Out the Vote campaign has been huge in the last couple of years. So I'm assuming both parties understand people are not going to the polls, right? Like they would desire they did, right? So you're not seeing that. And so if we've had a higher percentage, that's like kudos for Yuba County, right?
Yes.
Because, people are getting out to vote, right? Although it does, again, means Tina's got to work late to count all those votes.
We do. We do. We'll be there every day and until the process is done. And that's a misconception, what you hear a lot. And we hear a lot of comment about the time that it takes to report those results after Election Day. Well, what we see in Yuba County historically is that there are the voters seem to like to bring in their vote by mail ballot and drop that off.
I do.
And
I hate to say it, but there's something about it. I know it got there. I mean,
and that's perfectly fine. But the process requires, we cannot compromise the steps to ensure that it's the eligible votes that are counted. And so when we get that large influx, every one of those ballots, if any ballot that comes in an envelope and has a signature, we have to physically check that signature against the digital image of their signature on their voter record.
You're going to be bleary-eyed.
Yes, we have staff that does that, but
so
it's
is everybody that works for elections cross-eyed?
By the end of the process.
By the end of the process, they can't say, I can't drive home.
Toothpicks.
Call me an Uber. Wow.
They are, yes. And it's also, it's a, I would really encourage the public to, to learn and to understand and to ask us questions. We are always open to questions to help them feel more secure and to understand all the steps that we go through to ensure eligible votes are counted, which is really the kind of the crux of the whole process.
And for you guys, I hope people understand this. It's not about what side of the aisle you personally vote on. That you have the right to your personal vote. But in terms of the election, you guys are apolitical. We just want to get the votes in, get them counted accurately, right? Have people have a confidence in what we do. And so it's not like you're up there going, vote for this candidate. I love them, right? They can can go and vote. They can, although I don't know how much things are going to change. I know when I was in the military that our votes came in separately. I was overseas, right? And then, of course, back in that time, we were just really glad they let let us vote. you can go in the military. We're going to draft you, but by the way, you don't get the vote, right? It's like, okay, wait a minute. We need to work this out. So I hope people understand what a privilege it is. It's an honor to get to vote. Not every country has this.
No.
Right, and I don't care what anybody says about, oh, the votes weren't legal, the votes. Look, I can't fix Washington, Sacramento, but right here in Yuba and Sutter counties, I can make sure my votes counted because I have a confidence in both sides of you guys that do elections because I actually went, and I encourage people to do that.
We do too.
Go look. It's honest. It's got integrity, folks, right? It your
does.
vote counts.
It does, very much so. And, really on that note, that it is our job is to perform this function for the people of the county. It is not for this party or that party. That we like to say politics has no place in our office. That's what happens outside of our walls. Our whole purpose is to ensure that those final numbers, whatever they be, represent the will of the voters in Yuba County.
That's it.
And it is not our place. It is not our interest or desire to have an opinion about what that outcome is, just that the outcome in fact represents what was truly cast.
I love it. I just love it. I'm glad that we have it, So did you have some other things you wanted to talk about? Because I just run with it, Donna. I'm just going to,
We do. We have our never-ending pleading for poll workers.
That's right. You can volunteer to do that.
Yes.
Do I get to ring the bell? Kevin, get the bell.
Yes. We'll be calling Kevin on the way back. Kevin, you need to listen
Kevin's
today.
going to call me and go really fish.
Yes, very much so. We just on kind of a side note, there's some new legislation that's currently working its way through the process. We see a lot of that, and sometimes it ends looking completely different than it started. But one of the legislators has proposed legislation to turn being a poll worker or working as a poll worker to mirror the jury duty process. So that people would be randomly selected throughout the county. We're not really sure we support that because we really want people that want to be there.
It's work.
But it's interesting. It's interesting.
Work, but it's fun because like I said, I haven't been to Yuba counties, but I was at Sutter's. And it was like they are proud to do that job. They feel like it's something for the community. Man, I'm responsible. I thought it was great. But I didn't know you could volunteer.
Yes.
Maybe they kept that from me.
Well,
Donna!
You're going to be making a call after. No, we encourage people. We provide that, we have a training session, and it is a very long day. It's but it's such an important function. And so we're always seeking and looking for additional poll workers. We encourage anybody that's interested, go to our website, call our office. We will get you all the paperwork that you need. A simple checkbox of some forms, and let us know, and we will welcome you on board. So
are you guys responsible? I don't know how to say this. How much responsibility does your office carry in trying to get people to vote? I mean, do you guys do social media, something to say? Huh?
Outreach?
Yes. That was a word. Keep her. She's a good one.
Yes,
she can read minds.
Yes, she is. We do. Now there's what we would like to do, and there's the reality of the world that we're a small office with limited staff, limited
They
hours
need more
in the
staff,
day.
Kevin. More staff, Kevin.
He's been great. And, so while we would like the nature of the work is that when the outreach is the most effective, our staff are all hard in the work of prepping the equipment, prepping the poll workers, prepping that. So we do, but we don't have the luxury of some of those bigger offices that have an entire outreach division. And at a state level, so we kind of, benefit from that additional outreach that's happening. Now, something new this election that we are just beginning the outreach on is that for the first time, we will have one location open for early voting, early in-person voting on the Saturday before Election Day. It'll be at the government center. It's required by new legislation, so it's really kind of thrown our process into a mix. But we will have that, so we'll be reaching out, and we're working with Rachel, our media person there at the county, to make sure and really get the word out for that. She's amazing. Yeah. And so we're looking forward to that, trying to kind of get our processes all adjusted around to accommodate what that will take. But that is something new, and that we'll be conducting more outreach on to encourage. A lot of people want to vote in person, and so this will be an additional opportunity for them to do that.
So one more time, if somebody wants to volunteer, it's during the election cycle, right? So it would be what time period?
Election day.
Election
So,
day.
okay, so it's just that day.
At the poll sites, yes.
Huh?
At the poll site.
Oh,
Election
perfect.
day, yeah.
All right,
we
and
have-
so they just get a hold of you guys, and there's a process, and you train them, and
There's
life's good.
applications on our website, elections@yuba.gov.
Okay, that's
Oh,
difficult.
no, I'm sorry.
Elections.
That's the email.
It's
You can
yuba.gov
contact us at the email.
/elections.
yuba.gov/elections.
Elections first, elections last.
Fine. Well, you can email us. That would be the elections.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Or that old fangled thing. Pick up the phone and call.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. People still use
Oh,
that.
the old school.
I noticed you did this, right? And it's
Yes.
like- it's
I
like
was
I had
very
a- I had a
told of
guy-
myself.
I was pastoring at the church, and this older gentleman was trying to tell me I had a phone call. So he came in, he yelled across. We had a preschool. He yelled across. He goes, "Pastor Bob, phone call." And I'm like, "All right, nobody does that anymore.
anymore.
Well, they don't do this, right? It's like, what's next, right? You know,
Yes.
that we're doing the, tapping somewhere, and then you just start talking, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Well, ladies, did I forget anything?
Our early voting will be open that May 30th from 9 to 2 in the board
9 to
chambers.
3.
3? I thought it was 2. Oh, darn it, 3. We got
You
an
gotta
extra
work
hour.
another hour,
Extra
Tina.
hour. Darn it.
You
Tina
don't
thinks
get to
she's
go
later
up
on.
the hill until 3 o'clock.
No, one other thing that we would mention that we are kind of pleased or proud to be able to do is that in Yuba County we have had mail ballot precincts, which are precincts that don't have a polling site.
Oh.
They're too small. They don't. One of those poll sites happened to be Beale Air Force Base. It's a federal installation. We cannot have a poll site on that installation. But it really hit with us last election. We had a service member in uniform come in on election day, wanted to go to a poll site and vote in person, and did not have that option. And it really kind of hit home with us. These are our service members. They are serving our country. And she simply wanted to be able to vote in person. So for this election, we have done some switching around to be able to provide an in-person voting location for our service members at Beale. And
Perfect.
so we're
Proud of that.
we're really pleased with ourselves about it. And
You go, Donna. That was good. That was good.
yeah, so that's
Yeah.
our little pat ourselves on the
Yeah.
back. It seems like it's a small group of people it affects, but it meant a lot to us, and we thought, why, that's how it should be.
Well, I think the greatest reason to vote in person, the greatest reason, is then you get the sticker.
Everyone loves the sticker.
Come on, who doesn't want the sticker?
It's one of the most important supplies we have to check for. Do we have enough? Do we have enough? We cannot run out. It's a crisis if we do.
Ladies, thanks so much for coming on. And Tina, I'm glad that you're on board down here. Thank you for making that long drive down the hill and that even longer drive back up the hill, on behalf of Yuba County. And Donna, thanks so much. Appreciate you guys. I'm really grateful. Again, I've had a chance to see this, and I just want everybody register to vote and vote. Your vote counts.
Yes.
Right? And I'm not picking a side. I'm just saying your vote counts. Vote your conscience, right?
Yep.
We agree.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.